Hello, friends. Thank you for joining us for today's vegan cooking class. My name is Tony Brown, and today I will be bringing you some fudgy sweet potato brownies using the Minimalist Baker recipe. These brownies are so good. Please don't let the name fool you into thinking that because they're made with sweet potatoes, they won't be delicious. They are incredibly delicious. I have several non-vegan family members as well as co-workers who loves these brownies. One co-worker even requested that I make them for her birthday. That's how much she loves them, and I think you will too. Let's get started. All right, friends, go ahead and preheat your oven to 350 degrees. And you'll notice in her recipe, she states to use 1 cup of sweet potato puree. And she wants you to put that in the oven and bake at 375 for 25 to 30 minutes. But if you're like me, ain't nobody got time for that. So I do it an easy way. I take a large Ziploc bag, freezer bag. Go ahead and wash a medium to large sweet potato. Place it in the bag. Put a 1/4 cup of water in the bag. And then you want to seal it and leave just a little bit of room open at the end. And the reason why I do this is so that when it expands, the air will have some way to escape, okay, in the microwave. So sit it on a microwave safe plate and then pop it in the microwave for 6 to 8 minutes. Check it about 6 minutes, stick it with the fork and see if it's tender. If it's not, go another 2-3 minutes until it's tender, okay? All right, so my potato, I just pulled it out of the microwave. Be very careful. It does come out of the microwave super hot, but as you can see, it is very tender, and it only took 7 minutes and 9 seconds in the microwave to get this to this point, okay? So you want to go ahead and peel all the skin off of your potato, and again, very carefully. I do it with gloves because this baby is super hot. You can see the steam coming off of it. Just peel all of that skin off. And then I'm going to put it in this single serve cup, or you can do a food processor. But this is just a single serve smoothie maker for the Ninja blender there. All right, and like I said, I've made these several times, so I've kind of figured out what works and what doesn't work. So I'm going to pop this into the cup here. And then to get it to blend better, I've learned to put a little bit of water in there with it. So I've got about 1/8 of a cup here that I'm going to start with. And if it needs more, then I'll add more as I check it to see if it's at the right consistency, okay? And this thing is very noisy, so I am going to cut the camera off for just a minute, and I'll come back and show you what it should look like and if I needed to add more water, okay? All right, so this is the consistency that you're looking for. It's sort of like, you know, baby food. When you get the sweet potatoes for babies in the Gerber jar, that's what the consistency that you're looking for. And while I was off camera, I did add another 1/8 of a cup. So if you're taking notes, that was a total of 1/4 cup of water in with your sweet potatoes to get them to the right consistency in the food processor. That water does not change the consistency of your brownies, so don't worry about that, okay? So now that I have that done, I'm going to measure out 1 cup of the sweet potato puree. All right, now we will start adding all of our other ingredients. So to the bowl first, I am going to add the sweet potato puree, some maple syrup, almond butter, vanilla extract, and melted vegan butter. All right, so I'm putting in 1 cup of the sweet potato puree. And then the next thing I'm adding is 2/3 cup of maple syrup. So I have a 1/3 cup here. I'm going to put 2 of these to get my 2/3 cup, okay? And I'm just using the Maple Grove Farms 100% pure maple syrup. And then I'm going to do 1/2 cup of almond butter. And I just use this Sam's Choice slow roasted creamy almond butter. And that's 1/2 cup of that. Make sure if you open your almond butter and the oil has separated at the top, just give it a quick stir before you measure it out. And then I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then 1.5 tablespoons of melted vegan butter. And I do use the Mayoko's unsalted. That's 1.5 tablespoons there. That's 1.5. And then I'm just going to go ahead and stir all of that up to combine. Now all of my wet ingredients are combined, so now I will add my dry ingredients. I'm going to start with the cocoa powder. And for the cocoa powder, it's just 1/2 cup. You can use Nestle, or you can use, what's the other one, Hershey. I haven't tried it with the carob powder, but if you want to do that, you can. And just see, you know, how it works. So that is 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. Now I will be adding in 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. I'm going blind. I cannot see these numbers on the measuring spoons. Okay, so 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. And then we're going to do 1/2 teaspoon, 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And then I'm going to just stir all of that up, get it well combined, and then I will add in 2/3 cup of oat flour. Just making this reminds me of the first time my coworker, who loves these brownies so much, she tasted it and her eyes rolled in the back of her head and she's like, "How did you get the sweet potatoes black?" And the whole office just kind of cracked up laughing because the cocoa powder is, of course, what makes everything dark. But it was just funny the way she said it. "How did you get these sweet potatoes black?" All right, so I have that combined. Now I'm going to add in 2/3 cup of oat flour, and I use the Bob's Red Mill oat flour, but you can use any brand that you choose, okay? So add that, 2/3 cup, and then stir all of that to combine. And just a side note, the batter will become very thick. Don't worry about that. It is not going to affect the brownies, how they turn out. It's going to be very delicious. Trust me on this one. I just like good tasting food, and I know everybody's tastes are different, so what's good to me may not be good to you, but for me, I grew up with cooking grandmothers and aunties and uncles, and on my mom's side, we even have cooking competitions sometimes at our family reunions, okay? That's how deep we are into cooking. So we just like good tasting food. So some vegan recipes I try and I know right off they're gonna be a keeper, and I make them over and over again, and then some I'm like, no way. So I just like good tasting food, whether it's vegan or not. All right, so that is combined, and now I'm gonna put them in my baking dish. So I like my brownies slightly thick, so I'm using a 7x7x2 pan. If you want yours a little thinner, you can do a 9x9 or an 8x8. I'm using a 7x7x2. I'll go ahead and load up, and it's lined with parchment paper, okay? So line it with parchment paper, and then go ahead and add your brownie batter into the pan. Trying to get every bit of it out of there. All right, spread it to the edges. And then this is completely optional, but I like topping mine with some vegan chocolate chips, and I use the Enjoy Life brand. These are mini semi-sweet chips. I'm gonna put that all over the top. And then I also like chopped walnuts all over the top. And I like to slightly press those in. And then I'm going to pop these into the oven for 28 to 32 minutes. You can check and make sure that they are done with a toothpick. Insert it in the middle, pull it out. If it's, too gooey, you want to put them in the oven and let them cook for a little bit longer. But if it's mostly clean or just a few crumbs, then you know they are done, okay? Okay, friends, my brownies are done. And I have let them cool, and then I cut them into 9 squares. I'm just going to pull a square up so that you can see what it looks like on the inside. They are extremely fudgy. They melt in your mouth. And I think that you will enjoy these brownies. Yes, yes, and more yes. Please try this recipe and let me know what you think in the comments. Bon appetit!